Hello and welcome to another Datastage tutorial with Learn at Knowstar. In today's tutorial, we are going to take a look at some of the stages that can be used in a Datastage job sequencer. The first stage that we are going to explore is the user variable stage. As the name suggests, this stage can be used to create user-defined variables, which can then be referenced by the stage name. For example, it's user variable, the default name in our case, dot the variable name, and then those variables can be used by any of the other stages in this sequencer job. If we double click on this user variable stage, we'll be taken to this stage editor properties box where you have the user variables tab. If you go and right click, you'll have an option to add a row, and the default name of the variable that they have created is new, which you can change to a meaningful name. And we are going to create a param batch date, so a variable called param batch date. And on the right hand side we have an option to define the expression. Now this is exactly similar to what we have in transformer with all the functions that are available in the transformer. So here what we're going to do is let's say we have a date coming in as a parameter to our job sequencer, which is a param process date. So we are going to trim the hyphens out of that date. So the date might be in the format of YYYY-MM-DD. So we are going to convert it into YYYY-MM-DD format. So what we are going to do is use the job parameter param process date, apply the string function trim, and trim out the hyphens. And A suggests that we want to trim out all the hyphens of this param process date. Now we have created this user variable param batch date, which can be referenced as user variable dot param batch date and can be used by any of the other stages in this job sequencer. Now let's take a look at some of the sequence activities that can be used to handle any job failures within the sequence job. So one of these activities is the exception handler activity. This will catch any job failures that happen within the sequencer. So if we just double click on it and go to the stage editors box, we can see that there's a description box and then there's a logging text box. So logging text, whatever you define in the logging text, that would be displayed in your sequencer job log in the director if any exception is caught, which means if there is any job failure happening within the job sequence that you have designed. Now, once you have caught this exception, so you know that some of the job has failed within this sequencer, what action do we need to take? So we can define that action as an output link coming from this exception handler. So we can use some other activity in this case, like a notification activity. So in case there's any failure encountered in any of the jobs in the sequence, we want to send out a notification to the business, alerting them for the failure. Now in this notification editor box, you have standard fields like the mail server name, your sender email address. So you can type in a standard email address for your Datastage group, your recipient's email address, which would be your business or client email address, alerting them of a job failure happening in your job sequence. You can have a suitable email subject, something like job failed, to alert them. And then you can define an email body giving the description of the job failure, and you can check this box to include job status in the email that would tell you which job failed and stuff like that. Now you have got an exception, you have sent a notification activity, but still the sequencer would not abort. So sequencer would finish fine, though it would not execute to completion. Now we want to make sure that the sequencer aborts and any of the job that might be still running aborts as well as soon as an exception is caught anywhere within that sequencer. So now we need to use another stage in this case, or another sequence activity that is known as the Terminator Activity. So let's bring it to the designer canvas, and this is your Terminator Activity. So we link it to the output coming from the notification activity. So that will be the final step in the sequence. As we can see, we cannot define an output link from the Terminator activity. So it has to be the last step in the sequence. Double click on it and go to the Terminator tab. And then you have these options. So send stop request to all running jobs and wait for all jobs to finish, or you can abort without sending stop requests. A terminator activity is needed whenever we want to explicitly set the job sequence status to aborted in case any of the job activities within the sequence fails. If we do not use the terminator activity, then the job sequence status would still be finished, even though some of the job activity within the sequence has aborted. And if a job activity aborted, then the subsequent job, dependent on the successful completion of the job activity, would not execute. So the execution would stop at that point where the job aborts, but still the sequence would give a status of completed successfully. Now, exception handler can catch an exception in case any of the job aborts, and then it does what you define based on the output link coming from the exception handler. But one limitation of exception handler is that it does not catch an exception in case a job finishes with the status of finished with warnings. So that is not an exception that is caught by the exception handler, and then you need to manually handle it using custom triggers coming out from the output link of your job activity stages. Thanks a lot for watching this video tutorial today. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, then please do not forget to like, share and comment on our video, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel for many more such videos. Thanks a lot. Stay healthy and stay safe.